Hi everybody, this is Lesley Lykins with CXPA, and I would like to say Happy Customer Experience Day. We are less than 24 hours away from celebrating Customer Experience Day worldwide. I am fortunate today to have Aitor Pascual with me and Carmen Marquez. Aitor is going to serve as my translator because we would like to bring this panel to you in Spanish today. So Aitor, do you want to tell everybody hello for me and welcome?
Of course. Buenas tardes a todos. Ella es Lesley, que os está dando la bienvenida y quiere saludaros a solamente 24 horas de un día tan especial como es el día del Customer Experience, que es mañana.
So we are going to go ahead and talk about the Latin American region today and what we're seeing in customer experience. But before we get into that, I did want to briefly say thank you to our sponsors. We have some incredible sponsors that have stepped up and helped us recognize customer experience worldwide. You're looking at them there on your screen. Aitor is actually with Customerville, which is one of our top sponsors, and we just could not bring you the things that we are being able to do this year for Customer Experience Day without the sponsor support.
Okay, entonces vamos a dar el pase a trabajar sobre la experiencia de cliente en Latinoamérica, pero no sin antes darles el reconocimiento y las gracias a los patrocinadores que hacen posible esta jornada. Entre ellos, yo, Aitor Pascual, pertenezco a la empresa Customerville, que veis ahí dentro de vuestro panel de presentación.
Thank you. And so, before we get started, I did want to briefly introduce our panel. We are missing just a couple of people today. Claudia Vale, who is in Brazil, was unable to make it, and we have our team from Ecuador who is working on joining us right now. So we will hopefully have them online here before the end of our panel. But I am very pleased to introduce Aitor and also Carmen. Carmen, do you want to tell us just a little bit more about yourself?
Yes, of course. Do you want to talk in Spanish or English?
Either one, Carmen. Spanish is great.
Okay. My name is Carmen Marquez. Carmen Peiran is my second surname. I'm at the beginning of my professional career. I working in multinational companies as a consultant. But at that time, I only was focused in the hard part of consultancy. I mean, in reduced cost, downsizing, focusing profitability. 25 years ago in Latin America, nobody talked about customers or focus on customers. After a few years, I had the opportunity to work in sales and marketing. And I started to understand that if your business is B2B or B2C model, you must think all the time in person-to-person relation. So 10 years ago, I had the opportunity to create a customer experience in Telefónica, one of the biggest Hispanic telecommunication company. And in that company, I learned to have a 360 degrees concept about customer and understand that the employees are very, very necessary to have a good customer experience strategy. So at this moment, I have my own consulting company and help companies in two ways to align the strategy and to prepare people who work, the employees, to understand the CX mean and why it's important that all part of the company must be oriented in customer centricity. And on the other hand, I help companies to many tools or strategies about customer centricity and including customers in their strategies of business. That is my part of a little about me.
Thank you, Carmen. Thank you. Aitor, do you want to tell us a bit more about yourself and how you got started with customer experience?
Sure. I will try to do it in Spanish, if you don't mind.
Great.
Pues yo soy ingeniero, vengo del mundo de la ingeniería mecánica y de la construcción, del mundo del cemento y del hormigón o del concreto, y hace años que, lo he comentado antes, notábamos que en España la experiencia de cliente no era un punto fuerte en los servicios, ni aerolíneas, ni restauración, ni hoteles, ni retail. Por lo tanto, con los movimientos, con los diferentes movimientos, llegué a contactar con el fundador y socio de Customerville y aquí estoy. Hace 3 años que estoy llevando la parte comercial del área Europa, Middle East y bueno, Asia y también Latinoamérica para Customerville, que es una empresa de plataformas de voz de cliente.
Wonderful. Well, thank you both. I want to thank you both for your time today and for your insight. I want to start with the question, what have you both observed regarding customer experience growth in Latin America over the past couple of years? What have some of the changes been that you've observed? Carmen, do you want to start?
Yes. Maybe in Spanish?
Wait. Yes, and can you translate the question as well, Carmen?
Sorry?
Can you translate the question in Spanish as well? And then, yes, if you can respond in Spanish, that would be great.
Okay. ¿Qué es lo que observamos, ¿no? Acerca de la experiencia cliente, del crecimiento de la experiencia cliente y los cambios que se han dado en los últimos 2 años en la región. Bueno, en el caso de Latinoamérica, o sea, la parte de Sudamérica, que es la parte que yo más manejo, ¿no? En general el mercado, ¿no? Está todavía en una etapa muy inicial de lo que es la parte de recopilar información y en algunos casos transformarla y tratar de usarla. Con algunas todavía oportunidades de mejora porque todavía los líderes de las organizaciones no se han podido pasar el chip de pensar en un modelo centrado en el cliente. Entonces pasa un poco como lo que comentaba Aitor, en que las empresas recién se están dando cuenta pues que si no entran en esta era del cliente y no diferencian lo que es el customer experience de lo que realmente es el servicio al cliente, van a desaparecer en los próximos 5 años, ¿no? Entonces hay mucho trabajo por hacer. Yo sí considero que han habido cambios en la región en los últimos 5 años y específicamente en el último año. Por ejemplo, hay un estudio de Deloitte que aquí en Perú cuenta que ya tiene prácticamente el 45% de las compañías están entendiendo la importancia que es tener una estrategia de experiencia cliente, pero todavía no la internalizan, todavía es así como que es una tarea de la persona que maneja el área de servicio. Entonces ese es un gran reto que tenemos como organización y como consultores de ayudar a las empresas a entender esto, ¿no? Lo que sí todavía nos perdemos mucho en la Big Data, ¿no? Porque no sabemos, y ahí es donde es el valor agregado para nosotros de la CXPA, porque todavía los líderes de las organizaciones no saben diferenciar cuáles realmente son los indicadores que necesitan medir. Entonces, como compran programas de experiencia cliente, resultan ser muy largos, no les ven los resultados, y mientras no dan resultados financieros, pues no pasan a ser importantes, tan importantes como deberían de ser, ¿no? Entonces, yo creo que para evolucionar en la región, sí necesitamos entrar con más herramientas y enseñarle a las empresas las herramientas más útiles y las que realmente deben de considerar de acuerdo a su estrategia como negocio. Lo que sí ha evolucionado de una forma sorprendente es la parte de soluciones de capital humano, porque ha cambiado mucho la cultura del gerente o del representante del área de recursos humanos o gestión del talento, y ahí sí puedes ver que el cambio ha sido más grande, porque ellos están trabajando herramientas de marketing y de retención de clientes hacia adentro de la organización, creando una marca empleador, fomentando que sus trabajadores sean sus principales embajadores de marca. Y ahí sí uno está viendo como un trabajo más organizado que el que se está haciendo con el cliente hacia afuera. Eso es básicamente lo que estamos observando en nuestros propios clientes en la región y lo que estamos intercambiando con las personas que nos estamos reuniendo como CXPA acerca de lo que está en el mercado en este lado del planeta.
Aitor, do you want to kind of summarize what she just said for us, for those of us who are just in English? That would be great.
Yes, sure.
I can tell you in English.
You are totally right, Carmen. The last things that we have been looking around is that in Latin America, people is getting organizing, companies are getting organizing, and in the last 3 years, it has been amazing the steps that they have been moving forward and what they are looking for. And I want to say something. In 3 years, we are going to be scared about how they are going to be moving, and they are going to be faster than Europe, of course, and biting the butt of the US companies, because they are going really, really fast. We have been, in the last year, I've been talking with a couple of airlines companies in South America and Central America, and it's amazing the work and the job that they are doing.
What's the name of the company?
Sorry?
The name of the companies?
Well, one of them is the biggest Colombian airline company, and the other one is in Panama. Okay, so you already know the name.
Yes,
Carmen's booking her travel. Let's talk a minute about challenges. So what are the challenges that organizations in the Latin American region face when adopting customer-centric cultures? Aitor, do you want to start maybe in Spanish?
Okay, sure. La primera idea es entender bien qué significa experiencia de cliente y cómo encaja dentro de la estrategia general de la empresa. Hacer un mapa del Customer Journey no es una tarea sencilla, es una tarea de mucha responsabilidad, y las estrategias que marca el comité de dirección deben estar claramente marcadas en la estrategia de la experiencia de cliente. A continuación, hay que hacer una difusión global en toda la empresa. Tienen que estar al tanto desde lo que se pueden llamar los frontline employees, tienen que estar al tanto la gente que está en el back office, tiene que estar al tanto la gente de administración, de finanzas, de marketing sobre todo, tienen que estar al tanto todos los equipos acerca de lo que se está haciendo en experiencia de cliente. Y una vez que eso esté organizado, y es lo que venía comentando hace un momento, que se está llevando a cabo muy rápidamente en las empresas latinoamericanas, el reto de poder dar una buena experiencia de cliente estará cumplido.
Carmen, I'm going to move over to you. How would you answer?
Okay. In Spanish?
Yes. In Spanish, and then I'll let you two translate for me. I've got no Spanish, and then you can summarize.
Okay, I think like Aitor, because the main challenge for companies in Latin America is to understand if they don't have a shared vision through all the organization. For example, many companies have information, but it's only in the top management, okay? And it's like say, Aitor, everybody needs to know about the customer experience, what it means, how they can make metrics, and what is the more important metrics. For example, the journal map, but everybody here think that the journal map is a mess, because many companies go to sell the tool, but they don't involve the people who work in the organization to do this. I think that the big challenge is, if you are a consultant, you need to share the information and give the tools, because they don't need you all the time. So you are something like a support. And the other thing that is very important is we need to understand how the customer experience can impact in the profitability and the KPIs. Because at this moment, you have a lot of metrics about customer satisfaction, but for example, here in Peru, Venezuela, Colombia, other countries, they don't have really metrics about customer experience per se. We also need to develop more digital channel and have the same message in all the channel. We must to be omni-channel, because it's very important to take advantage of the technology, and especially the smartphone, to communicate with the customers. Particularly in Peru, we have, for example, some sectors that are growing very fast in customer experience. They are hospitals and health, I mean not the public, I mean the hospitals particulars, okay? We have a very, very strong banking and insurance market, and they just start a year ago to introduce the customer journal and the NPS indicator, but they don't have omni-channel strategy yet. I think it's a long way to learn, but in a few time, because we need to run with this here in this part of the world, because
hey, Carmen,
the technology will grow a lot.
I'm going to interrupt you really fast because it looks like Kelvin has been able to join us.
Hi, Kelvin.
Hi, gentlemen.
Hi.
Welcome to the panel. We're so glad that you could dial in. So we were just talking about it. First of all, Kelvin, maybe you guys could introduce yourselves and let us know where you're calling in from today.
Okay. Well, my name is Kelvin. I am Director of Corporate Relations at Plugthem, Ecuador. We have our company managed big data focused in customer experience. We developed different tools to measure customer experience in Ecuador. Jhair is the CEO of Plugthem Ecuador. He is a customer experience expert in our company, and he has experience on working on that field. Let me introduce him.
Well, nice to meet you. I'm Jhair. Plugthem is a company that is started to talk about experience in Ecuador. I think I'm sure that Carmen think the same as with us, because the customer experience in Latin America, it's not explosive, and maybe the improvement that we can do in the experience of it's so important. For this reason, we are thinking about that the strategies that we can do for the companies is so important. Plugthem not only are focused in the consulting, also are focused to present tools to the companies to manage the voice of customer. We have a tool that made the companies generate a program of customer a program of voice of customer. Our tool is, I think, unique in the world, because has some particular things that maybe we can expose next in the future. Then, well, consulting also we can do an experience, customer experience, and also in projects. Kelvin and I are a project manager professional, the PMP certification. We have this certification. And also I have a certification of customer experience expert. We are mixed, the project manager, also the customer experience, and I'm sure that this mix is so interesting.
Jhair, can I ask you what you and Kelvin would add in? So when you joined, we were talking about challenges that organizations are facing in the Latin American region when it comes to adopting customer-centric culture. Do you two have thoughts on what challenges you're observing as you're working with clients in the region? And feel free to answer in Spanish. Aitor here is translating for us, but we do want to be able to give the responses in Spanish for the people who are tuned in right now.
Well, about well, we can speak Spanish.
Yeah.
Okay. Bueno, nosotros tenemos ahora un tema enfocado en cultura centrada en el cliente también, y hemos creado una metodología de las tres P's las llamamos: personas, productos y procesos. Entonces esas tres P's hacemos que se basen en el ciclo de vida del cliente, y con eso nosotros, con el pilar personas, estamos y creemos que podemos enfocar en una cultura centrada en el cliente. Entonces el objetivo de esto es mejorar y cómo hacer que las empresas comiencen a pensar en el cliente, dándoles un pilar fundamental a las personas dentro de la compañía. Nosotros, la estrategia que nosotros estamos enfocando ahora a las empresas es que si no mejoran la cultura centrada en el cliente, o sea, las personas dentro de la empresa, definitivamente no van a poder mejorar la experiencia, porque al final las personas que trabajan en la empresa son los que generan la experiencia hacia los clientes. Si no se enfocan definitivamente en el pilar personas, no van a poder mejorar la experiencia de los clientes. Ese es un foco principal para nosotros, y por eso es que hemos enfocado las estrategias o consultorías que nosotros damos en tres P's: personas, producto, que también es importante, y procesos. Si no se mejoran los procesos y enfocados con indicadores, con visión cliente, tampoco vamos a poder mejorar la experiencia de los clientes.
También es importante que, bueno, en nuestro país, le habíamos mencionado a Lesley que estamos empezando con experiencia al cliente. Las empresas recién están considerando el manejo de la experiencia del cliente, pero mucho se basa, o hay una pequeña confusión, y es verdad, es una pequeña brecha entre la satisfacción del cliente y la experiencia del cliente. Por eso es que nosotros hemos tratado de crear estas herramientas e integrar todo lo que tiene que ver tanto en satisfacción como herramientas de canales, ya sean presenciales o no presenciales, dentro de las empresas, integrarlas dentro de una sola plataforma y dar este análisis para medir su experiencia del cliente y poder dar diferentes indicadores que las empresas puedan medirlo y puedan manejarse de esa forma.
All right, so Aitor, for those of us who don't speak Spanish, can you summarize? Please summarize first.
Well, they're saying that what they believe and what their product believe is in 3 P's: it's persons, products, and processes. And they are completely right. If the people inside the company, the people inside the company is the one that delivers the customer experience. So this is why it is important for them, those 3 P's. And this is the way they are thinking and the way they are working to follow all the people in the same direction.
So let's switch to a new question. Carmen, I want to start with you on this one. If you could talk to us a little bit about what you would like to see, how would you like to see customer experience change and grow over the next year in Peru and in Latin America? What would you want to see change and develop and grow?
I'm totally sure that the organization going to move from planning to execution and learning to use the management tools and indicators. There is many experience like Kelvin and Jhair talk about. I hope we can share some experience later. And I think in the future 5 years, no more, the companies really need to turn to the customer center focus on their business and have this 360-degree vision about customers, employers, stakeholders, and have and learn to make the difference between customer experience and customer satisfaction, because customer satisfaction is a little part of customer experience. I think that many times we lose measuring data that we don't need, no? And if we can find people who really focus in the data, the special data that we need, like Jhair and Kelvin are talking, and Aitor too, I think this part of the world can be grow very, very, very fast and can innovate. And I think we have people very, very intelligent and strategic. We only need some tools to develop the innovation and the creativity for all these people. And I think that is the key to transformation. I totally agree with the 3 P's, person, products, and process, because it's the only way to have profit and have a sustainable growth around the time. That is my
Thanks, Carmen.
way to
I'd ask you. Yeah, no, I think that's great. I think that it's exciting, and there was something that you said earlier in the panel, Aitor, about how fast the region is growing in customer experience right now, and how you see so much potential for the next few years. How would you answer that question? What do you hope to see change over the next year or two? Spanish.
In English?
Spanish, please.
In Spanish?
Spanish.
Lo primero, sí es verdad que me gustaría que en la región de América Latina no cayeran en la tentación o en el error que se está cayendo en Europa, de hacer luego unas encuestas y pedir un feedback de experiencia de cliente muy engorroso, muy largo y muy tedioso. La experiencia de cliente debe ser simple, debe ser transparente. Y a los trabajadores, como estaba comentando Kelvin y Jhair, que people, o sea, las personas, que es algo tan importante, lo que hay que buscar es de ponerles la información correcta en manos de las personas correctas. Con eso, haciéndolo simple, la experiencia de cliente va a ser espectacular. Tenemos que buscar la manera simple, la manera como se está haciendo en los Estados Unidos, en la mayoría de los lugares, y no buscar de almacenar millones y millones de información que luego no son útiles. Hay que ir a lo sencillo y a lo práctico.
That's right.
Perfect.
Kelvin and
So.
Jhair, I'm going to switch it up on you. I'm going to ask you a different question, and this one I'll ask to all of you, but I want to start with the two of you. What advice do you have for other people who are looking to enter a customer experience profession in Latin America, or they want to bring change to their organization? They understand the value of customer experience, but maybe their organization is lagging behind. What advice would you give to these people? Feel free to answer in Spanish.
Okay. Bueno, en realidad, mientras nosotros hemos desarrollado estas pequeñas herramientas y trabajando con las consultorías, las empresas como multinacionales especialmente están interesadas en poder manejar o mejorar su experiencia del cliente, ya que la diferencia competitiva básicamente está enfocada en poder diferenciarse por medio de la experiencia que brindan hacia el cliente o la del consumidor. Entonces, nosotros, si bien queremos ampliar o llegar a todas las empresas multinacionales han sido las que primero están, especialmente el sector de la banca, está muy interesada en brindar una experiencia al cliente, en mejorar y trabajar sobre la experiencia del cliente.
Carmen, I'm going to ask you the same question.
I totally agree with Kelvin and Aitor, and we think the same. Another important thing for me is to empower every member of the companies with information, as Aitor said, and with the specific tools. In Peru, in particular, there is a big phenomenon in the last year. Many consulting companies, and many consulting companies from Spain, really, come to Peru and start to sell big voice of customer program, big and very, very difficult mapping, journal map, and other tools. So most of the big managers and CEO are a little worried about so much information. I'm totally agree that the things will be very simple and transparent for everybody. I think part of our job is to help companies to understand that there is no a taboo or a big secret. It's simple, it's measured, but you need to be focused in the customer experience strategy, and your employer are the best elements are you really lead. If you give information for everybody, I think everybody can work for the objective to implement a customer culture centric in each company. It's the only way to grow organic and sustainable in the time.
Good. Yeah, I agree. Aitor, before you take the answer on this question, maybe we could remind our viewers that if you have a question that you would like to bring to Kelvin, Jhair, Carmen, or Aitor, please feel free to type that into the box there on your screen, and you can bring your question to our panel, and we're happy to ask them those questions live right now. So if you do have a question, feel free to chat that in. Aitor, do you want to weigh in on what advice you would give to somebody who wants to get into the CX profession in the Latin American region?
Sure, in Spanish? Or, yep.
Spanish.
Okay. Es un poco el resumen de lo que hemos venido comentando. Lo ha comentado Jhair, lo ha comentado Kelvin, lo ha comentado Carmen también. El objetivo debe ser el sentido común, hacer las cosas sencillas, buscar el mejor, el mejor mapa de experiencia de cliente y Customer Journey Map. Tenemos que saber para el cliente qué es lo importante, qué es lo que realmente necesita y nosotros tenemos que esforzarnos por dárselo, nosotros y la gente que vaya a incorporarse a ese proyecto de experiencia de cliente. Lo más sencillo es medir primero para luego tomar decisiones y mejorar. Si no medimos, no hay mejora. O sea que para hacerlo tenemos que medir. Hay diferentes herramientas en el mercado, hay muchas formas de hacerlo, hay herramientas caseras, hay herramientas muy complejas, pero hay que mantener la vista en el objetivo, en la estrategia general de la empresa y yo siempre recomiendo la manera más sencilla y más fácil posible.
Thank you. And maybe we want to maybe you want to summarize slightly in English for those of us who don't speak Spanish. Aitor, can you do a quick summary?
My advice always is to keep things very simple. Is to try to, first of all, really have a good understanding of the journey map, of the customer experience strategy, and of the general strategy of the company. Once that we have all this and we put the right information in hands of the right people, and with simple tools, we can have homemade tools, or we can have very complicated tools, but we have to try to keep it simple. Try to keep it simple because we have to think about the customer. It's the first thing that we have to do.
Wonderful. I'm going to thank all of you, all four of you, very much for participating in this panel today. It's always challenging when we try to do a panel in 2 languages, so I appreciate your patience, your patience, and your willingness to give it a try. I think that the incredible growth that's happening, that we as an association, that Customer Experience Professionals Association is witnessing there in Latin America is just phenomenal. And there's so much wonderful potential for all of you. It's an exciting time, and I think that it's just going to be really fascinating for us to come back together next year on Customer Experience Day and see where you all are at that point. I want to ask you if you'll each share how somebody could get in touch with you if they want to have continued conversations with you about your efforts with respect to customer experience in your area. What's the best way that they could get in touch with you? Carmen, do you want to start?
No, I lose a little the sound. Can you repeat, please?
Yes, I'm just asking if you want to share how somebody could get in touch with you if they'd like to have additional conversations with you about customer experience in Peru. How would you want them to reach out to you?
Of course, I want to continue have a conversation with all the panelists. I don't know if you want I send my email or my, I don't know, what do you need?
Do you have a website? Carmen, do you have a website?
Sorry.
Do you have a website that you can share? Or the other thing that people can do is they can reach out to you through the CXPA as well. So if you are in the area and you would like to talk to Carmen more about customer experience in Peru, please reach out to us at CXPA. If you are a CXPA member, you can connect as well, but we always are happy to make those connections through the CXPA. And that email address is info, which is INFO @cxpa.org. And I will go ahead and put that into the chat box as well so that you've got that available to you. Kelvin and Jhair, is there a way that you would want people to reach out to you?
Okay. Lo hemos enviado nuestros correos para estar en contacto por medio del chat box. We have sent our email by chat box and para estar en contacto. Como nosotros te habíamos mencionado, nosotros estamos muy ansiosos y estábamos muy satisfechos de poder tener este día del CX Day, porque para nosotros es muy importante comenzar a trabajar y poder formar en Sudamérica, poder formar esta organización, poder expandirlo y obviamente poder dar a conocer por medio de foros y compartir diferentes experiencias que después nos van a permitir alimentar y mantenernos siempre, digamos, actualizados sobre diferentes topics o diferentes estrategias que se puedan ir dando en diferentes países de Sudamérica, ya que somos muy cercanos y podemos incluso tener un contacto más directo con ustedes y incluso hasta por la facilidad de la comunicación.
Well, also
Yo
I
también
will.
les he mandado los datos, inclusive el WhatsApp, que honestamente soy más de WhatsApp que de correo. Y me encantaría seguir en contacto porque creo que podemos hacer cosas juntos para la asociación y cuantos más seamos y podamos hacer algo interesante para nuestros clientes, va a ser muy bueno, ¿no?
Sí, sabes que
Me encantaría conocer las herramientas que están haciendo.
correcto.
Aquí todavía estamos bien en una etapa bastante inicial y hay bastante por hacer. Estamos
No,
muy cerca. Aitor también, o sea, estás al otro lado del mapa, pero hoy con la tecnología.
Yo
No
el fin de
puedes,
semana voy para Latinoamérica, voy a estar 2 semanas por allí.
¿A
¿para
dónde
dónde?
vienes?
Voy a estar en Paraguay y Argentina.
Ay, te deberías de dar un salto por acá, por allá. Sería
Lo
bueno
intentaremos.
contactarte.
Yo quería comentarles también, hay
Lo
muchas empresas.
intentaremos. Ahí les he mandado mi telephone and my mail.
Quería,
Wonderful.
well, I will try
Aquí
to
el sonido.
talk in English to better that Lesley also understand that. Well,
Thank you.
well,
Okay.
I'm interested to talk about that Carmen told about the other companies, Spanish companies, really, the Spain companies that are in Latin America to talk about customer experience. I'm sure that CXPA has a big opportunity to start in a community to maybe to join to explain the customer experience strategies or something like that. I think it's so important that Carmen, also Aitor, but in the Latin America, maybe touching contact or something like that, because the Spain companies, sorry Aitor, but the Spain companies, I'm sure that has some faults in customer experience, and in this reason that we know that the culture in Latin America, that it's different. For Spain, for example, maybe we can with the CXPA create some other things, not only the consulting strategies, but also the tools or something like that.
I agree totally with you, and that was something that I said at the beginning of my speech. In Spain, we are not
For training.
we are not as well as you are in Latin America. For example, Colombia is a wonderful place for customer experience, but it's
Yes.
natural in that people. It also happens in Brazil and happens in many places in Latin America. In Spain, we have to learn a lot about customer experience. Even companies are not creating the tools that are exactly what people and what customers need. I agree with you.
You know, I think what's been interesting over the last week as we've had these panel discussions around the world is that there is this understanding of what customer experience is, but each culture has a different challenge or something that they face that's a little bit different than other cultures, and they have to get over that hurdle. And so I think what's so beautiful about CXPA is that we have the opportunity to hear from so many different companies in so many different parts of the world about what they're able to achieve with customer experience and how they go about doing that. And it's inspiration to others that are trying to overcome a different challenge someplace else. And it's a really beautiful community where people are willing and able, like you guys, to come together and share that information.
It was my idea that I told. It means that Spain companies are the strategies focused on Spain culture.
No, not the Spain companies. It's the Spain organization based on. I don't know if you have known about ISO.
Mm-hmm.
ISO, yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Organization. They have
Overlap.
Their strategy, but they are based their strategy or programs from Spain or Europe, and the advantage with CXPA is that we can put the strategies based in different cultures in culture of South America. That is why it will be an advantage. That is.
I try to do.
Yeah.
We can make a mix, because, for example, here most of the Spanish. I say Spanish because they come to Peru and grow a lot, but most of them are focused in the brand, but they don't make the match between brand and customer experience. So I'm totally sure that with the support of CXPA, we can work in our countries with some strategy and with a strong plan to change the minds, because I think CX is in the heart for many people in Latin America, but there is no in the mind, because they don't see the economic results and the organization focus in marketing, sales, because they make money with that. We need our challenge is to change that chip in our CEOs and managers' mind. For example, last week, I stayed with the general manager of one of the biggest banks, international bank, in Peru, and he said, "Oh, now is a fancy to talk about customer experience and journal map and NPS," but he told me it's a fashion. So it's very difficult, because you need to have a strong argument to convince. You know, if the top of the head of the company think that it's a fashion, because they don't see the result, the economic results, we need more tools to convince and change the mind.
Right.
Otra cosa.
Kelvin and Jhair, I think in Ecuador maybe it's the same.
Yeah, it's the same. Bueno, quería contarles también otra cosa. Disculpen, voy a hacerlo ahora en español porque es un tema ya un poco más puntual. Es que nosotros hemos creado un indicador para medir la experiencia del cliente, porque hoy en día yo siento que los indicadores que se manejan las diferentes industrias, y puede ser tanto en empresas como europeas o españolas o americanas, perdón, midan la experiencia del cliente, pero lo hacen solo desde la parte desde la parte emocional. Lo que nosotros hemos hecho es crear un indicador que maneje no solo la parte emocional, sino también la parte racional. Entonces hemos creado un estudio completo y hemos generado un indicador de experiencia de cliente midiendo parte racional y emocional. Algún momento, si les interesaría, podríamos hacer una conversación, comentarles esto, porque me parece que podría nutrir mucho la nueva visión de cómo ver la experiencia del cliente. A eso me refería, Aitor, de que las empresas que vienen a hacer consultoría de experiencia del cliente se enfocan mucho en una cultura española, que créeme que yo he visitado Madrid, Barcelona, Valencia, y claro, ustedes tienen unos 4 o 5 pasos más adelante que nosotros en cuanto a la cultura misma de la gente. Si ustedes vienen acá, es difícil. Yo creo que los pasos que se manejan en Europa o en América tienen que ser diferentes a los que se manejan acá. Acá todavía creo que nos falta muchos años como para manejar, solamente desde el lenguaje es complejo manejar el tema de experiencia de cliente.
Fíjate que estoy tan de acuerdo contigo que te voy a invitar a que entres en nuestra página web y descargues el libro que tenemos recién editado acerca de la experiencia de cliente y de cómo llevarlo a través del diseño para las emociones, justamente, la parte emocional y la parte racional. Lo vas a ver, lo acabamos de editar.
Ay, mándanos la página.
Está en customerville.com, pueden entrar. Y ahí arriba se descargan el libro en PDF.
Buenísimo.
Yo lo vamos a ver y después te compartiremos en cambio nuestra visión para posiblemente tengamos ahí, tal
Perfecto.
vez llegaros al mismo punto, pero podríamos empezar a hablar del tema.
Claro que sí.
Sí,
claro que sí.
excelente. Sería buenísimo también tener la página de ustedes en Ecuador.
Sí, por supuesto, ya les compartimos.
Ok.
Ah, ok. Ahí yo les estoy mandando la nuestra de consultoría. Pero sí, va a ser bien productivo poder tener unas reuniones así para conversar, ¿no? Para compartir más experiencias.
Generar eventos. Sería
Correcto.
muy bueno, muy bueno.
Lesley, you must learn Spanish. I invite you to have a week here and you learn
Spanish very fast. Very fast.
My home speak Spanish.
That's so what I've taken away from this is that we need to have many more of these panels with CX professionals in Latin America, and we should continue these conversations. Do you all agree?
Agree.
I think so. I think this could be very powerful as you continue the growth that you see there. But at this point, I am going to wrap up today's panel so we can get that recording out to everybody who has not been able to tune in live. I do want to remind everybody that this is recorded and that we will have it available to the public on our CX Day website. And that website is at www.cxday.org. And we'll type that into the chat box as well. But this panel discussion, along with all of the ones that we've had over the past week, are recorded and available at that website. And tomorrow, we will be celebrating Customer Experience Day worldwide. So if you are on social media, just watch for that hashtag CXDay and join the conversation as we start in Asia Pacific and we work our way around the world celebrating great customer experience. And I want to thank our panelists. I want to thank Aitor, Carmen, Kelvin, and Jhair. Thank you all for joining us today and for sharing your thoughts, your enthusiasm, and your excitement as we continue to celebrate.
Great. You're welcome.
Thanks for your time and for the opportunity to know more customer experience people. See you soon.
Sounds good, and we'll keep this conversation going. Thank you all, and have a lovely afternoon.
Thank you.
Thank you. Nice to meet you, Aitor.
Thank you, Kelvin, Aitor, and
Bye-bye.